We are back in the motherland this week. Yes, we're back in Africa. Today I'm going to talk to my colleague, Sibusisiwe. Okay, the last name is getting wrong.
Sibusisiwe Ndlovu. I know it's hard, it gets lots of people tongue-tied.
There you go. But I'm practicing, so I'll get it perfect. But we're going to talk about a country that I think is one of the most popular countries in Africa. Maybe for good or bad reasons, we'll figure out after this interview. The country that also has one of the most popular leaders in Africa, internationally, I think. This country also has a special relationship with Jamaica, especially tracing back to our reggae roots. And you will hear why after this as well. Bob Marley influence is big on this particular country. I'm speaking of no other country than Zimbabwe. Hi, it's Boosie. I call her Boosie. I mean, it's short.
Yeah, everyone calls me Boosie.
Exactly. Hi, Boosie. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Great. Let's start by what I ask all my guests first, to identify stereotypes that generally come when you tell people you're from Zimbabwe.
Well, people ask me, it depends on where they're from. If they're from like Africa, they will know where Zimbabwe is, because we're known for all our problems and all our good things, all our beautiful women and our handsome men. Yes. But if they're from the north, they'll probably ask Zimbabwe, and then I'll say Robert Mugabe, and they're like, oh,
see what
Zimbabwe.
I told you? Yeah, one of the most popular African leaders by far, Robert Mugabe, and you know the issues surrounding his tenure as leader of Zimbabwe. I mean, quite controversial as it is to some extent, especially here in the western part of the world. But he's been, what would you say? A strong leader, eh?
Yeah, he's been very strong. I think you don't stay that long in power without a level of strength.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give that to him, at least.
And what do you make of the issues like that is dominated in the news, especially this side of the world, about your country? Especially regarding his tenure, you know, it's time for him to go and talk about all the other issues. Do you sit back and say, you know, that's not just Zimbabwe?
As a news person myself, I understand that news is a business. I understand that news is biased, and that news is made for a certain audience. So whatever I hear, I take with a pinch of salt. Because I'm a Zimbabwean living in Zimbabwe, I've experienced some of the things. I at least have an understanding from my angle of what life is like. So what I read, what I see in the media, I am able to discern from a certain angle. Not that I'm saying it's totally true or that it's totally false, but it depends on where you're coming from. And if you're a Western reporter going to Zimbabwe for a week to capture a story and coming out, obviously you have something different from someone that's lived there all their life and knows a different story.
That's so true. That's so true. And let's talk about what life is like in Zimbabwe then. So let's shed some of the stereotypes that you may have about Zimbabwe based on what you would have seen in Western media. What's life like there? Is everybody poor and in poverty and, you know, can't make life?
No, not everyone is poor, but many people struggle, especially in recent years. Life has not been so good, but I'm sure it's the same everywhere else in the world, the economic downturn, the global economic crash and everything. But it's worse for us also because of the political turmoil and other issues that we have to face. So while there are people that are making it, there are definitely people that are making money in the current situation. There are people that are surviving, but I must say that we have more people in poor situations than we had 10, 20 years ago. And as a country, we might argue about why that is so, but the truth is that is a fact.
Okay. What do people do for fun in Zimbabwe then? So you have these situations, and I know like Jamaica, we try to make fun of a lot of things. What do people do for fun? What are leisure activities like in Zimbabwe?
Well, people are different. I know I'm not very outgoing, but I like to go out and do what people here or people in the West call barbecue.
Yeah.
We call it braai back home.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
We like to do that a lot, especially where I come from in the South. I'm sure it's now a countrywide thing. We just go out and hang out. We've got beautiful resorts. We have the Matopos, we have the Vic Falls, we have the Kariba. We have beautiful places to visit. So people will just go and hang out. We also have a very large Christian community. We go to church, we hang out as church communities, we have family fun things. People like clubbing as well. They go out at night, there is a nightlife. But it's not so vibrant anymore given the economic situation. But people find ways to have fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mentioned the influence of reggae music. So the music is big
My
there.
brother and my uncles are very, very huge reggae fans. I still have some songs that ring in my head. I love Peter Tosh. I can sing some of his songs.
I know somebody who would love to hear this.
I love a lot of reggae artists, but I have to, you know, calm myself down sometimes when I hear reggae music because of my age. But yes, I think we do have a relationship with the Jamaicans. You do know that Bob Marley did have a concert at our Independence Day. We have a lot of Jamaican descendants that came to live in Zimbabwe after independence. They made home of it, and we still have a lot of Zimbabweans that now identify with the Rastafarianism, that actually, you know, follow that tradition of not eating red meat, vegetarian, keeping their hair. My brother actually believes in that Haile Selassie. When he reads his Bible, he actually only quotes scriptures about Solomon and the Israelites and things that actually identify with Rastafarianism. So personally, I understand that whole Jamaican culture.
And it's still rich. Salute to all our Rastafarians in Jamaica and in Zimbabwe. We stand strong together as brothers.
Are you Rastafarian, by the way?
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not, but you know, and people, you know, she could ask that because one of the things that Rastafarians say, you don't have to dread to be Rasta. So I don't necessarily have to have the long hair. That is basically something that is synonymous with being a Rastafarian. But yeah, people who practice Rastafarianism can also go bald. Haile Selassie's son, I think, was in Jamaica recently, and he's bald. Yeah, but let's get back to Zimbabwe. So what's the local language there?
We don't have one local language. Actually, one of the most progressive things that our new constitution has introduced was the recognition of about 16 official languages. All along, there was just 3 that were recognized nationally. Ndebele, which is what I speak, though I can't purely say I'm Ndebele because my parents are from different origins, but because we grew up in an area that speaks Ndebele, that's what I'm identified as. Then we have the Shona language, and then we have English, but now we have 16 more because we have so many tribes, so many tribes speaking different languages, different cultures. So now as a country, we're trying to identify with that.
Say something in Ndebele for me.
Ndebele.
Ndebele.
Sawubona.
What's that?
Sawubona is hello. It's like, it sounds Nguni Zulu, you know, if you've heard South African Zulu.
Yes.
Because we originate from the south and then came a bit north to Zimbabwe. So when you say Sawubona, it's like, hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sawubona.
Sawubona. Or Sabona.
Sabona.
Yeah, Sabona. Sabona literally translated would be like, I see you, you know, Sabona. But it means hello, you know, like identifying someone and acknowledging that you see them.
Okay, good. So let's get people to come to Zimbabwe and visit, because it's a beautiful country based on what you've said, and I want to visit as well. What's one place you tell me to visit when I come to Zimbabwe, or tell others that they must see when they come to
If you've never been to the Victoria Falls, definitely go to the Victoria Falls, the Zimbabwean side, not the Zambian side. The Zimbabwean side is where you get to see the falls most beautifully. Yes, and it's in the southern part of Zimbabwe, a very beautiful place. And on your way there from my town, Lawa, you get to drive past lots of other beautiful places. There's the Wange National Park, you get to see the big 5, the wild animals and everything while you go to the big falls. And you can then cross over to Zambia.
Okay.
Zambia, there will be of that.
Okay, she's being fair, so you can enjoy that side of it too. But then, you know, going back to stereotypes, so you see pictures, like I think just this week I saw a picture of somebody in Zimbabwe. She was walking with a lion being a pet, almost like a pet. Is that like really something popular in
Was
Zimbabwe?
that like a black person?
Yes.
Okay, that's not common. Well, black people normally would run away from wild animals. I mean, I don't know if you read about Cecil the lion.
Yes.
Who seemed like this big lion icon all over the world. In Zimbabwe, some of us started hearing about him from the newspapers. We, you know, it's funny, in Africa we have these beautiful places, but because of our economy, we can't afford to visit and get to know.
I understand.
Exactly. So we didn't get to know about Cecil the lion until he was dead. So, you know, for us to really interact with our wild animals, I think we need some mentorship and some reconciliation with the wild animals. Because I know ancestors used to live in the wild, used to hunt animals, had a way of communicating with them, had a way of calming them or taming them. But, well, we've since lost that.
Okay.
Maybe something we can recapture.
Okay. Thank you. This has been quite an interesting interview. I've learned so much, and I hope you have learned something new and interesting too about Zimbabwe. What would you like, one thing, just to wrap up, you'd like to see, you know, different or change about your country?
Different or change. I like to see people love their country. I like to see people that have left the country come back. I'd love to see Zimbabwe being the jewel it is, that is now blurred slightly by the muddy media coverage and the bad publicity and also the bad conduct by some people being cleaned up, and for it to shine once again.
And it will shine. It will shine.
Yeah.
I believe every country has the potential and has the resources, especially human resource, to make it the best country in the world. And I mean, Zimbabwe is not peculiar. It, like every other country, has its own problems, has its own issues that it has to grapple with. And over time, I think with good leadership and good people, it can be changed. Thank you so much for joining me for another country profile. You never know what my next country will be or who I will talk to, but it will sure be interesting. Thank you so much. Please watch and share the video. You can post your questions below as well, and Busi will try to answer them. She's on my Facebook profile, so she'll see them as well. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.